When you think about receiving dating advice, advice on how to mingle with the opposite gender, where do you think the best place to go is to get this kind of advice? Surely the first thing that comes to mind is TikTok, right? If not, maybe you're the weird one. TikTok has the best advice.
Welcome to another edition of Revenge Ideas from a Lawyer That Won't Get You Arrested, probably. Did you know that you can buy live hissing cockroaches on Amazon in sets of 2, 5, 15, 30, or 50?
Yeah, I actually did know this. I hope if you own pet reptiles, you know this.
They'll just open up what they think is a normal-ass Amazon package, and it will be full of cockroaches.
Not true at all. They actually label it with, here, I actually have a box right here. Live animals from Superworm Company. And then even if you did open it, it's not just going to have the worms in the box. It's contained pretty well. It'd be kind of stupid if people bought these that actually need them and whatever they bought just ran out the box and hid in their house.
What if he calls Amazon to see where it's from? Guess what? He can't, because they don't have live people on the phone that you can talk to.
Geez, I just had a really bad breakup with this crazy chick. And, a week later, I get a package that says live animals on it. Oh, I wonder who this is from. I'm really sorry to burst your bubble. Like, she really actually thought she had something going on, too. Like, this was the perfect prank. Anyways, this wasn't even really dating advice. This was just stupid advice. Up next.
I just put up to the bar that I'm about to go in. And, ladies, I'm about to give y'all a visual of how the parking lot should look. Look at the men behind me. I'm about to give y'all a visual of how the parking lot should look before y'all go in the bars.
I disagree. I don't think it should look like this. Not a single Hellcat in sight. Come on.
Going on dates and looking for these rich men, because they're out here, baby. It's Tuesday.
Okay, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday night. It's like 8:45.
8:45.
And I'm out here. I really should have been out here a little bit earlier.
That's what I'm saying. Early bird gets the worm.
Still looking good, so I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
You looking all right?
My hair is all black. I have on a Gucci purse and a black dress.
I don't mean to burst your bubble. You look great, but this is just how, the average middle-class woman dresses up for a night out. I can't really complain about her too much. She knows what she wants, and she had to go get it without getting caught. At least she admits that she's out here looking for rich men. There's a lot of chicks out there that'll be like, man, I want you to buy me all these things and spend money on me, but I'm not a gold digger. At least this chick is admitting, okay, I'm out here looking for rich men. She's just out here for a bag. And then she's sharing the method to all these ghetto chicks. And I read the comments, and yeah, they're pretty ghetto in there. Also, how you should look. Some girl be looking ghetto AF. You look incredible and demure and cutesy. First of all, you type ghetto AF. Secondly, who knew? Who knew, man? Rich men don't want to date some ghetto trashy woman who has a mop for a wig and fucking grasshoppers for eyelashes. Who knew, man? Out there screaming and twerking in the club. Who knew, man? Who knew that the rich millionaires didn't want a woman that is out here doing shit like that? The other comments were just women repeating exactly what the lady said in the video. And then this was kind of gross. It's giving ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of ballers and their pockets full grown. Why you got a man if you're going for a baller? What's the point of it? And then someone actually did mention the lack of Hellcats, and she is smart. She runs from Hellcats very fast. I don't think you can run faster than a Hellcat, but hey, at least you're trying, and at least you got the mental capacity to know that a nigga that got a Hellcat ain't no nigga you want to be fucking with. Anyways, you guys remember when I was talking about how some women claim to not be gold diggers but expect you to spend $300 to $800 on a first date?
How old are you?
28.
Let's say I wanted to take you out. How much do you expect me to spend on a first date?
Depends where we're going.
What's your expectation, though?
I don't really have any.
Okay, this seems kind of promising. She doesn't have an expectation on the first date.
So I could hit you up and say, hey, let's go to Burger King and get slushy?
No. I mean, at least nice 5-star type of restaurant.
Are you fucking retarded? I'm not saying that because your opinion is garbage. I'm saying that because it took this amount of pressing for you to actually form your opinion. You're 28 years old and you didn't learn how to do critical thinking in high school. The amount of prying that this guy had to do for her to actually form a thought is mind-boggling. This guy's how much are you expecting a man to spend on a first date for you? Oh, I don't know. Well, what's your expectations? I don't know. So Burger King is fine then? Oh, well, now that you mention it, yeah, it'd have to be a 5-star restaurant. Why could it, like, are you that stupid you couldn't say that at the beginning?
Depending on how it goes, depending how I like you, and that all kind of goes with me even saying yes for a first actual date.
5-star restaurant in Miami. How much is that gonna range?
300 to 800 maybe.
Imagine getting rejected by this chick and then seeing this video later on and realizing you dodged an $800 bullet. I don't mean to sound like an incel, but if I'm spending $800 on a woman, I'm not expecting her to sleep with me. No. She can come back to my place and clean my entire house, block every dude on social media, and then meal prep me breakfast for the next morning.
A man to spend $800 on a first date?
Yeah.
Has it happened before?
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of patch or update that these kind of women got for them to think that a first date needs to be some extravagant adventure at a 5-star restaurant. And these same women are now trying to say that coffee is not a first date.
Do not go on that coffee date. Do not go on that boba date. Do not go meet that man for drinks.
Do not let a woman who got implants only to pull 25,000 views tell you how to live your life.
This man saw you, and his first initial thought wasn't, wow, I'd really love to get to know her over some dinner and a nice ambiance.
I think the fact that you don't think that a coffee shop is nice ambiance for a first date says more about you than it does about him. And the reason why I say there's some women, not all women, that think like this is because I do go through the comments and, I see women say, well, I don't see the issue with coffee, and God bless your soul. I think women like this who think that they need to be treated like the fucking Queen of England on the first date are definitely a minority of women who got pumped and dumped by a rich guy and now expect the first date to be some extravagant bonanza. Or they watch some chick flick drama movie and think they need to be treated like the main character. Like this woman. A 5-star restaurant isn't safe? I'm sorry, but I don't even think McDonald's is safe for you because you'll probably run the Big Mac bill in the hundreds.
Calling me a gold digger or saying that I have gold digger energy is probably one of my favorite compliments. Be a gold digger, gold collector, gold connoisseur. I'm gonna wear that badge with honor.
Hey, at least she admits it, but also going through her page, it looks like she's just been on a bunch of dates within the past year and still single. So how is that going for you? Do you think you'll finally find the love of your life here in 3 years in your 40s?
Men coined this term, gold digger, as an insult for women that want and demand more. So I feel like if you ever get called a gold digger, you're doing something right.
That is not true. The term gold digger is a warning. It's a warning that the woman is only with you for your money, and once your money runs out or she finds somebody richer, she's going to leave you. So when that inevitably happens, do not crash out because we warned you this was going to happen. She's a gold digger. She's after gold, not love. But this goes both ways. Some rich men don't want love, they just want a woman, and they want a woman that's cleaner and legaler than a prostitute. So they get a woman like you, buy them gifts until they find somebody prettier and younger, and then they leave you, which is why you're probably still single. Anyways, let's get the opinion of a woman who had to get a bachelor's degree in psychology just to give relationship advice on TikTok. Let's get her opinion.
This is why you should never accept a coffee date for a first date. Perhaps it sounds convenient to you because you don't need to spend a whole evening with a stranger you may not like.
Yes, that is the point. It's a first date. You might not like them. You might not want to be with them for a long time. If you don't like them, you have an easy way to leave. Oh, I finished my coffee. It was nice meeting you. Bye. If you like them, you can continue talking after the coffee and maybe even do something else after the coffee.
As if he says, let that girl prove herself first before I'm willing to take her out for dinner.
Isn't that kind of how it works? Like, this is like femcel logic. You know how incels get mad at women who don't sleep with them on the first date? Femcels get mad at men who don't spend a few hundred on them on the first date.
But let me tell you what this says about you. If you accept a coffee date, that actually shows that you accept the bare minimum.
No, actually it shows that they're a low-maintenance, tolerable person and reasonable.
Yourself as being worthy of something more than just a coffee. How can he be convinced?
Well, then with that logic, we can just cause a huge slippery slope and just... You're only worth a 5-star dinner? Why didn't he take you out with Obama? Why didn't with that logic, will it ever be good enough? Will anything ever be good enough for you? I think women like this are just old and miserable, and they want younger girls to be just as old and miserable as they are.
But a coffee coffee date doesn't sound like fun. It sounds more like a job. Okay, I'll go sit there for half an hour, see if he's worth it, see if I like him, and then we're talking.
Again, that sounds like your miserable opinion because you're a miserable, materialistic person. Also, doesn't that happen on every first date, what she just described, whether you're going out for dinner or going out for coffee? Like, if you go on a dinner date with somebody, you're not going to sit down and talk to them and get to know them? That only happens on coffee dates? What? And you know, my nosy ass once again had to check the comment sections, and she was absolutely getting cooked by both men and women. Anyways, this kind of reminds me of a list I found on the internet of a survey that asked women what doesn't consider as a first date, what they wouldn't want to do on a first date. So this ranges from like Cheesecake Factory, Buffalo Wild Wings, IHOP, Starbucks, nightclubs and stuff like that. And I went through and kind of marked what I agree and disagreed with the blue being like kind of a neutral situational kind of thing. So we got like your mid-tier restaurants like Cheesecake Factory, Applebee's, Chili's, Olive Garden, Red Lobster, and I think these are perfectly fine for a first date. In fact, I think that these restaurants were probably designed with first dates in mind. And then you have stuff like Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, a buffet. For Buffalo Wild Wings and Wingstop, I know that not every girl likes chicken wings. They can be messy, they can be just not too fancy, but there's some girls that love chicken wings. So, you know, depending on if she likes chicken wings or not, this might be a good place to take her. Now, buffets, yes, you do not want to take a girl to Golden Corral on the first date. I do agree with that. But there are some super, super fancy buffets out there that I think would be a pleasant first date. Chipotle, yeah, don't take no girl to Chipotle. This is just Mexican Subway, inauthentic Mexican Subway. Your house might not be, unless she really likes you like that, your house is not the best first date. Any fast food chain, obviously, that is off the table. IHOP, Denny's, Waffle House, these are completely off the table. This is just like this is ghetto. Waffle House is ghetto. Denny's is slightly less ghetto than Waffle House, and IHOP is slightly less ghetto than Denny's. The gym, this can be a good, if you guys are into that, that can be a great first date. But if your girl's not in, or the girl you're going on a date with isn't into like working out and going to the gym, I get that can be intimidating for other people and be kind of awkward to bring her on a first date there. Church. Now this is under the assumption that church is not the only thing you guys are going to be doing. I'm assuming that this is like, there's going to be some kind of activity before church, after church, like going to get some ice cream or something after church. There's going to be something accompanied with it, because yeah, it'd be kind of boring to bring a girl just to church. But even then, bringing a girl just to church, assuming that, you know, then she's going to meet your family, you're going to meet her family, and it'd be like, you know, a pretty decent time. Starbucks, coffee dates, ice cream dates. What is wrong with this for a first date? Like, it's just something chill, just something relaxing, nothing, no high pressure, nothing. Family functions. This is how I know the woman that put this on here does not have a father, because what is wrong with this? Unless you got some crazy ass family, you know, that your family's having a barbecue. Oh, why don't you come over? You know how thoughtful that is? And then she could bring maybe her family. They can bring some stuff and share. And, you know, I think that's overall like a really good first date. Movie night, Netflix, Hulu, and etc. Yeah, this is sleazy. This is like if you're just trying to like booty call. There's a difference between going to the movies and movie night. We all know how sleazy Netflix and chill is. And speaking of which, the movies and bowling, isn't this a classical? Ain't that just a classic? You know, let's just have a fun activity to do while we talk and get to know each other. If you don't want to go to bowling on the first date, I think that's because you just suck at bowling. And that's okay, as long as you vocalize that and admit it. Because you might go on a date with a real nigga like me, and I'm gonna blow you the fuck out on bowling. And you're gonna go home crying, sobbing, and you're gonna go to sleep like a little baby. Nightclubs and hookah bar. This is just gross for a first date. I mean, for any date really. You wouldn't want to take no girl to a date on a nightclub or a hookah bar, unless, you know, again, she's like a booty call or something. Like, yes, ladies, if he takes you to a nightclub on a first date, he does not give a fuck about you at all. That is like the ghettoest shit ever. Bars for just a drink, it just depends on if both people are really into that. Sports events. Yeah, you don't want to take a girl to a sport event on the first date, or unless she's just really into it. There are some girls that are really into sports that would love to do that, but a lot of girls really aren't. Also, I forgot the somewhere that requires a really long drive. Now, this depends on what a long drive is, but I have a feeling that whoever put this on here is just boring as shit. Actually, I think I'm going to change my mind on this one. This one's going to be situational, you know, depending on if the people are into that, because I kind of do understand you probably don't want to be in a car with somebody for a very long time on a first date. And number 30 and 31, we have rape and sleeping on call on Discord. Who the fuck? This wasn't here. This wasn't in the original. Who put this here? Hold up. I'm so sorry about that, guys. I just fired my editor. He tried to have me talk about rape in Discord sleeping on call. That's not funny, guys. Anyways, in conclusion, I think half the women they surveyed are retarded and the other half are pretty reasonable. My ideal first date is at a halal restaurant with her father present. Out of courtesy, I'd even pay for his meal. We're gonna go back to TikTok rage bait that's not actually rage bait because some women actually resonate with it.
How to get in a guy's head. How to make him freaking obsessed with you. Number 1, text him his name and then don't answer. None. Done. We're ghost. We're gone. There is no response after that.
If she tries something like this is how I'm finna be.
I'm ignoring you. I said I'm ignoring you. Stop ignoring me, ignoring you!
Guys, you want to know how to get even if she starts playing games like this? Just don't respond. It'll drive them crazy. It is that easy. You just gotta carry your life out in some peace and quiet.
Number 2, hold eye contact with him. It makes him so nervous.
Is eye contact not like normal in a conversation?
My favorite thing in the world is telling a man that you don't know if he's your type. You're still kind of figuring it out. Now, this will make him want to be your type. This will make him want to figure out what your type is and be that person for you.
By the way, this only works on men that don't have goals or aspirations in life or are still in high school. I'm sorry, but do you think a man that's working 50 to 60 hour work weeks has time to put up with games like this, or a man that has aspiration and goals, do you think he's gonna like focus on you more than these goals? Ladies, you want to know how to get into a man's head and have him think about you all the time in a healthy way? You make sure your environment is as stress-free as possible. You make sure you're his peace. When he's around you, you want to make him feel safe and secure. And this goes the opposite way too. If a man is making a woman feel safe, secure, peaceful, if both partners are doing this for each other, that relationship will last decades.
In order to keep a man interested and to keep him coming back for more, you're going to want to do this one thing. Now, we all know that men are hunters. We as women get to play with it in our advantage. Now, I can teach you this concept from 2 places. One, from a very wounded and unhealed place. I want to bring you into the very empowered and healed place. So because men are hunters, they want what they can't have. Allow him to get to a space where he gets to question what he means to you. We start to get wobbly in our confidence and we start to want more from a man. While that's natural, it's beautiful to want more. Women want love, men want freedom. You're not doing it from this place. Oh my gosh, you're actually consumed. You're spending time with your friends. You're doing things that you love. And that's what you want to do. This energy. You're not always available. You're not going to just everything. Frolic as the queen you are. And if you're like, okay, but how do I do the inner work? How do I pour into myself? How do I look at...
Holy yap session. This chick just said a whole lot of nothing. You want some genuine advice? If you have to play Death Note level mind games in order to be in a relationship with somebody, it's probably not meant to be. And if you want me to boil down exactly what she said, it was actually decent advice. It just took her like fucking 2 hours to say it. She was basically saying whoever you're chasing, make sure that you don't make them the main focus of your time and spend time with your friends and have hobbies, and because this will make you look more confident and make you look less desperate. Wow, that took me, what, 10 seconds?
You're like, okay, but how do I do the inner work? How do I pour into myself? How do I look at my shadows? How do I become whole? I have a solution for you. I'm hosting a 5-week embodiment program, an embodiment journey that's going to take you out of your head into your body. That's going to heal those fractured parts of you.
Wow, so she gave you advice with a bunch of nonsensical buzzwords that don't actually help you, and then she sells you a course on what the definition of these buzzwords are. That's the female Sigma grind set. Also, the advice she gave is kind of, what do they call it? Common sense? These advice videos are either something completely crazy outlandish, like, oh man, he needs to spend $1,000 on you, or it's like common sense, like, hey ladies, if you don't want to look desperate, get a hobby. Like, what? I seen this one where this chick was like, if he's cheating on you, just break up with them. Don't key his car, don't go through his phone, nothing of that. Like, just break up with him and leave him. Yeah. You needed a lady on TikTok to tell you that?
If you want to know how I always stay 10 steps ahead of a man, listen to this. I don't argue with any man. Don't argue with any man. Don't go back and forth with any man. Don't get out of character for any man. Keying a man's car, showing up to his job, going through his phone, texting chicks, DMing hoes, all that stuff. Ladies, cut that shit out.
Hey ladies, you want some advice? If he's cheating on you, you should just leave him instead of having a mental, emotional breakdown fit. Are we giving advice to ladies that are just recently coming out of the psych ward? Or are we talking to normal human beings here? I mean, yeah, getting cheated on is an emotionally damaging thing, and it's normal to have very strong emotions toward the situation, but then taking those emotional energies and putting them into the situation is just going to make everything worse. And it's kind of embarrassing. Did we not learn this when we were 18? Why are we now talking about this in our 30s? Or however old this chick is, I don't know. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, it is good advice, but I don't know why we're labeling common sense as advice nowadays. But at the same time, we're on TikTok looking for advice from middle-aged women. Women that most likely don't even believe what they're saying, and they just know that this is rage bait that gets clicks. The problem with this kind of rage bait, though, is that there's women out there that actually believe this kind of stuff and believe that this is how real life is supposed to be. Well, these kind of women need to also get their act straight before they're single without children in their 50s.